Hey now, Steve Seavers, Bionic Buzz. We're here at the press firm at San Diego Comic-Con for 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo. It's going to be amazing red carpet. Let's go see who we can talk to. All right. Well, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. Where's your passion from storytelling, artwork, animation made you want to get into the industry? What were you like as a kid? Were you always creating, writing, drawing?
I never wanted to go outside as a kid, and there was a big wooden device in our family room called a television, and that was my best friend, including and it was a window to the world of my best friends, including Scooby-Doo. And I feel like, as I have recently mentioned, I feel like I know them better. I knew them first. There was never a time I before them. So I met my parents after I met Scooby-Doo and the gang,
For me, I had more of like a Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer youth. I loved comic books and stuff, but I would immediately read them and then try to cajole my brother and my sister to go play outside and be Green Lantern or be Superman or Batman. So I grew up in a kind of wooded area, and I would just run out. My mom, it was like how you handled ADD back then. They would lock the door and like, come back when it's dark, please.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, and you get in trouble. And so that was I had the ability to just imagine, and nobody was trying to put barriers on me. And I think that just helped me as I grew. And then one day I wrote a story in junior high and everybody laughed, and I was like, this is a great feeling, And then it was on, just start writing and do this sort of thing.
And it's so cool. Your passion led to working with this iconic franchise. It's pretty crazy. It's celebrated 50 years. Yeah.
Oh, it's nuts. I was just kind of remembering how to have Casey Kasem be the voice of Shaggy when you're 3 years old, and then, all those years later in the early 2000s, he's on the other side of the glass with Frank Welker, and they're doing your lines. It's you feel, there is a little imposter syndrome for a moment where you're like, what you think is, before you walk in that room, you think, this is great, this is awesome, and then you're like, oh, they're going to know I have no idea what I'm doing, because they have done this for 30 years.
And, and with Frank, he's the voice of our childhood, and you meet him and he's so nice and unassuming, and then he does his work and you're just like, this is insane. And I think, as Jim said, some people would be like, oh, I have to work on Scooby-Doo. It's like, no, I get to work on Scooby-Doo. I get to contribute to a 50-year history, and not everybody can say that, and that's a pretty remarkable and unique thing.
So here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passions. Where's your passion for voice acting come from? Were you imitating certain cartoons as a kid, or was it just naturally for you always put on a show for your parents or teachers?
Well, I was raised by my grandmother, and she didn't have a lot of money to entertain me, so she had an old boom box, and I used to make sort of like radio plays for myself all day. I'd just do voices into the, cassette children. There were these things called cassette tapes. And I would record those and then, play music behind them and do all sorts of different characters, and it was a very cheap babysitter.
Very cool. And you've been doing Daphne for how many? Longest now, right?
Yes, almost 20 years. I know. Some people offend me when they say, have you been doing it since the show started in 1969? And I'm like, I wasn't even born yet. Ow, ow. I must look amazing for my age. No. But it's been a long time still.
Pretty amazing 50 years.
Yes, I know. It's such an honor to be part of something that I loved growing up, too.
So how was it being part of this amazing franchise and now celebrating 50 years?
I can't believe that I get to be a part of this show, truthfully, because it's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I've been watching it since I was a little kid, and so, when I got that phone call that I got the part of Velma, I just was like, I was so excited. I to this day, I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I pinch myself because I get to go to work with the best people, and it really is just a dream job in every way.
I love it. Well, one of my favorite shows that you had a small part on, it just ended, Big Bang Theory, but very memorable one. Of all the Raj's ex-girlfriends, you're the easiest one to remember. Could you talk about your experience being on that show?
Gosh, that show is super special. The Big Bang Theory is it's one of those shows that I think, again, maybe similar to Velma in some way, because there is a little bit of a crossover where it's just these really smart people who are just navigating their way through the world. And I just think I feel so lucky that I got to spend my time there for a little while. And the cast, everybody, the crew, I always said it was like going to Disneyland every day. It was just it was truly just a joy. And everyone was so nice and very welcoming. And, I think sometimes when you hop on a show for just a split second or, a little bit amount of time, it's tricky and not there. They were just big hugs and welcome, and you just felt really comfortable. And so, yeah, to play Lucy, Raj's girlfriend, was one of my dream jobs. It was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you.